In an age where renewable energy such as solar and wind are gaining prominence in electrical power generation, some sub-Saharan African countries are going in another direction, building huge coal-fired power plants. In this segment of our series, Empowering Africa, a viewer senior analyst Jeffrey Young speaks with a number of analysts about why parts of the continent prefer coal over other resources.
While many developed economies are phasing out coal because of air pollution and carbon emissions, in parts of Africa, coal is plentiful and important to the economy. The International Energy Agency says coal provides 70% of South Africa's electricity, and it continues to bring online new coal plants. For South Africa, mining plentiful and relatively cheap coal means thousands of paychecks, and that has political ramifications, as explained via Skype by KwaZulu-Natal University analyst Gerard Boyce.
We have the very strong labor sector in South Africa, and they have come on board saying that reducing our dependence on coal means loss of jobs. So how this all translates into actual policy choices, I don't see it as coal being usurped from its dominant position as the electricity primary source of electricity for the foreseeable future.
Coal's place in Africa's power industry is expanding. The International Energy Agency reports that at least 10 states besides South Africa are planning, building, and running coal-fired plants. The African Development Bank aims to electrify the continent by 2025, connecting 200 million more users. The plan involves a $12 billion investment from the bank, with up to $50 billion in co-financing deals. The U.S. Agency for International Development's Power Africa program also is helping to light the continent, using both fossil fuels and newer renewable technologies. Power Africa Deputy Director Matthew Rees.
We are technology agnostic. We take an all-of-the-above market-driven approach to helping to bring on this generation. So that means if we are approached by a coal developer, then we will look at it.
Because of concerns about carbon emissions and climate change, the World Bank typically favors renewable power projects such as wind and solar systems. Still, a World Bank Africa analyst says projects are based on making the best use of each sub-Saharan African nation's resources. Musa Blimpo.
Different countries have different endowments and different comparative advantage in terms of sources that will go into the mix that they will need to meet their own energy need.
In April, governments joined the African Climate Week summit in Nairobi to discuss the global warming and efforts to slow it down. Despite pressing environmental goals, coal, at least for now, is seen as an imperfect but necessary means of helping the continent have the power to bring the middle-class prosperity its people seek. Jeffrey Young, VOA News, Washington.
Well, here's what you can expect in Thursday's segment of our Empowering Africa series. Some nations on the continent are using hydropower to generate much-needed electricity. But this clean power source has its problems, so be sure to join us when senior analyst Jeffrey Young examines the good and bad sides of using water to turn on the lights.